What's good everyone, Smudgy here, and yes, the MG82 is gold, and we're going to run through a super quick guide on how to get this gold as quickly as possible, as easily as possible. It wasn't a particularly hard grind, and there's a few things here and there that you're going to want to pick up on. So as always, we will run through the kind of class setup that I was using for the most part. And for this, as soon as you get any sight, you're going to want to put it on. I hated the iron sights in this gun. I ran the 3 times for the most part and didn't really make a difference. If you want to run 2 times, that's fine. You know, it's anything you're comfortable with. I just prefer the actual reticle of the 3 times. No muzzle. Now, as far as barrels go, I kind of prioritized shooting speed over everything just because it is an LMG, it is a little bit heavier. So you can use the 14.7 inch cut down. I just preferred the division specifically for long shots, but we'll get to that a bit later when we actually move on to them specifically. No body. An under barrel, the bruiser grip, again, anything that increases any form of speed is fantastic with this gun because it's, you know, it's not a bad little gun, it's just very, very slow within Cold War. And the actual handle, I tend to run the drop shot wrap as soon as I unlock it, so I can drop shot, and then I may move to the field tape if I feel like flinch resistance is kind of getting in my way, but I tend to keep the drop shot wrap on until I finally unlock the airborne elastic wrap, which allows me to continue to drop shot wrap with all the added benefits of that. As far as stocks go, anything that increases your speed, obviously they all do, but anything that makes you feel like faster personally, I kind of cycle through them until I unlock the combat stock, which maybe with the exception of the Raider stock are kind of like the top 2 stocks for any gun. So that's what I rocked. As far as game modes go, I will make it kind of like an explicit point when we move on to different camos which one is best. The 3 I used though were hijacked 24/7 in either core or hardcore. It doesn't really matter, hardcore's a little bit easier. The hardcore 12v12 mosh pit and then Nuketown as well. But I'll make it explicitly clear when I moved on to each of them based on the camo challenge, because this is the sort of gun where you are going to have to bounce around modes a bit. But let's take a look at the actual camo challenges. So first up, of course, we do have 300 eliminations. Pretty simple, you just gotta kill people. You'll complete this as you do every other challenge. I say this in every gold guide. It's pretty simple. If you can't do this one, I probably can't help you. And then 100 headshots. Surprisingly enough, I didn't struggle with this. The recoil pattern on the MG82 seems to kick up towards like the neck and head area. So I was hitting like a lot of hip fire kills with headshots. A lot of just generally when I was kind of spraying, like, you know, if I'd seen an enemy last minute and I was just trying to get the kill, I was coming away with headshots. It wasn't something I massively struggled with. And the 100 headshots over the course of the camo grind, I think by the time I was in like the last 2 camo challenges, I had like 99 headshots done. It really wasn't that difficult, but all the usual tips do apply. You know, if you see an AFK player, shoot them in the head. If you have time to aim for the head, do it. You know, don't pass up on those easy opportunities just because this gun seems to have a bit of a weird recoil pattern. And then it's 5 kills without dying 20 times. Hijacks was fantastic for this. I just kind of sat in the top windows on either side and just people kept running out. Obviously Hijack's a super weird map at the moment based on the spawns. It's super easy to spawn trap people, get spawn trapped, the spawns flip super easy. So it's fairly easy just to kind of like peek out a window and find the entire enemy team staring back at you and just pick up a 5-piece. This wasn't too difficult. If you are struggling on Hijacked, Nuketown's fantastic. Any hardcore mode, with the exception of 12v12, just because it can be a bit chaotic, is probably going to do the job there. And then 50 long shots. This is when I switched to 12v12, just because Hijacked doesn't really have those lines of sight you need. Nuketown it does, but it can be a bit chaotic or a bit campy. It just wasn't really flowing. 12v12 hardcore, super easy to do it because you've got those longer maps. I think I got 50 long shots in 4 games. Really was not that difficult, and it was pretty much the only challenge where I specifically focused on kind of this camo challenge. I just got it out of the way and then went back to my usual game modes. So you just want to make sure you're posting up, holding angles, nice long lines of sight and taking a shot. It's pretty simple once you're in 12v12. If you are struggling in 12v12, it's a bit too hectic. Hardcore domination, hardcore headquarters are both fantastic modes as well. And then we have 75 detected enemies. So for this, you can do it in literally any game mode. I did it predominantly in a mixture of Hijacked and Nuketown. You're just going to want to make sure you got your UAV, you've got your harp, you know, you've got your field mic, you've got your stuns if you want to run stuns. I very rarely do. I tend to run a stim shot when I'm in hardcore just so I can stay alive a bit longer. But you know, it's pretty simple, pretty easy. I didn't have too many issues with it. It's just one of those that kind of takes a little bit of time, and you know, the moment you pop that UAV or harp, you've kind of got to fly at people. You know, it doesn't matter if you die after every kill. If you pick up, you know, 6 or 7 kills whilst your UAV is in the air, it definitely makes it worth it. Whereas field mics, you can put them, you know, in a fairly nice position and just kind of sit back and let the kills come towards you. You know, it acts as a mini UAV, but you don't have to be quite as aggressive. And then we have kill 50 enemies taking cover from you in multiplayer. Bit of a tricky one if you don't play the right mode. Nuketown is fantastic. Sit in either of the upper windows, and anyone that is peeking the opposite window is an instant taking cover from you unless they're kind of jumping or mantling out of the window. It's the way I kind of do all of these challenges. Super easy. You know, you get a lobby where you'll have 3 or 4 people just returning to the window opposite you, and you can pick up, you know, 25 kills. Or you'll have a game where you only pick up 5 kills, but it really doesn't take that long with that method, so make sure you're in Nuketown Hardcore and just go to town with it. And then we have kill 2 or more enemies rapidly 25 times. This is super easy. This is the easiest LMG to get this done with, and it wasn't a hard challenge for any of the LMGs really. But the fire rate on this thing, of course, is insane. It's ridiculous. It probably won't stand up to much in core consistently, but obviously it's super broken in Warzone. But for this, any hardcore map that you're comfortable in, I did it in a mixture of Nuketown and Hijack, just whatever I was playing. It didn't really make too much of a difference there, which was quite nice. And you're going to be able to pick up these double kills. So essentially, when you say if you kill someone with 1 shot and you get that 1 bullet 1 shot, whatever the medal is, or you kill somebody when you're sliding, you get the low blow, anything like that, any of the medals that pop up when you kill someone, you essentially have until those medals disappear to get your 2nd kill, and it will count. And you'll know if it will count because it'll tell you got a double kill. Super easy, shouldn't be too much of a challenge, I hope. The entire grind is easy, but it's just a bit time consuming. I think from start to finish it took me about 3 hours to get it gold. So, you know, not the worst gun in the world, but definitely not the best. It's really not that difficult. If you do have any other tips that I didn't cover here today, as always, do drop them in the description down below. I'm always interested to see what you guys think. If you did enjoy the video, give it a like, subscribe if you want to find your way back. If you want more of me, but in a shorter version, if that makes sense, there is a link to my shorts channel down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. We're going to get some good content going up on there. Probably not quite as frequent as this channel, but you know, 2 or 3 times a week there's going to be some content going up on there. So if that's something you want to see, make sure you go check that out. As always, I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.